Hey folks, Deano here again. This time, taking a look at a figure I honestly thought I had already looked at. I was getting some serious case of deja vu when I looked at the listing for this guy. But yeah, turns out the bootleg companies quietly updated their bootleg Broly movie Gogeta, the Super Saiyan Blue one. So yeah, I have no idea when this occurred. To my knowledge, no one else has reviewed this, and frankly, it's a damn sight better than the original bootleg that they came out with. It's not perfect, mind you, but it's closer. But yeah, I got this guy for 11 quid off AliExpress. Link in the description if you so desire to get this guy. I know quite a lot of people lately have been looking for alternatives to Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. I even did a review of the Dragon Ball Evolve one to see if that was any good to fit in your collection. But yeah, for whatever reason, third-party companies and such just don't want to do Gogeta, even though he sells like hotcakes. Demon Ico Fit, where they take the official mould, recolour it orange and dark blue, and resell it as like a Janemba movie Gogeta. I would buy it, no questions asked. Like, I don't get why companies don't want to do it. But yeah, like I said before, I have already reviewed a version of this bootleg, so I am affectionately calling this a bootleg 2.0. But yeah, we'll get into comparisons in that later in the review. As per usual with bootlegs, I asked for a box, I paid 30 pence extra for a box, I didn't get a box. So yeah guys, at the end of the day, like, when it comes to bootlegs on AliExpress, they don't really care what they sell you as long as they sell you close to what you've asked for. They're better with third party figures and official figures and such, but when it comes to bootlegs, just be careful when you're buying off the site, honestly. But yeah, let's get him off the turntable and take a look at his accessories. So yeah, this is actually take 2 of this review, by the way. For some reason my camera cut out, so if I seem as if I'm rushing through it a little bit, that's kind of because I feel as if I've already done it, because I have. But yeah, I do have some comparisons, like I said, to the original bootleg. I have a couple of the faces. I don't have all of the faces anymore, because in my wisdom, I got so caught up with the fact that I get a new Gogeta bootleg, I decided I wanted to customize him into a Super Saiyan. And then I looked at the Demon Ico Fit, the hair for Demon Ico Fit. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. And it's up to 40 quid. And there is no chance I am buying that for a bootleg. So yeah, I ordered one of the Display gold markers. As good as that $5 marker set is that I showed off in a couple of my Gunpla reviews, the gold was a bit too muted, but the Display markers are a lot better. So I got the gold one for that, yellow gold. Looks really nice. I will show the in progress at the end, just so you can see it. But yeah, enough of my rambling. Let's take a look at the comparisons. So this is the 2.0 face, and this is the one you got with the original version. You will notice a stark difference in the skin tone. For whatever reason, they got a lot more things right with the 2.0 bootleg, but for some reason decided he was going to be like a vampire in terms of skin tone. Yeah, the skin tone in the original bootleg was much better, and so were the, well, I was going to say the paint apps are better, but it's just because of the skin tone. Like, if you haven't noticed already, this is clearly from the same bootleg company. It's just that for whatever reason, they updated a few things, because let's be honest, the original Gogeta bootleg was horrendous. But yeah, you can definitely tell a lot of it is the same, especially on the leg wraps, or the feet wraps. But we'll get to that later. So we'll pop him back there. And we will take a look at the other comparison that I've got, which is the base form. Original one here, new one here. The original one looks like Gogeta. The new one looks like a serial killer who has been absolutely starved of any sleep for about 10 years. I am not sure why the new one came out as badly as it did. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't get either why they went with such a light skin tone. I really don't. Can really tell the difference between these two. I mean, this guy's been caught spray painting his hair, so that's a bit of an issue. But yeah, it's still good to have both, I suppose. In terms of the rest of the faces, he has one stern face, which, I mean, that looks decent enough. And this will probably be the face that I customize into the Super Saiyan, first of all. I have already painted up the base form head on the original bootleg. So yeah. And finally, we have Yelling Face, which looks decent enough. There's a little bit of paint blotching on his face, and there is excess sprue coming off the faces. But that's to be expected with a cheap bootleg these days. In terms of hands, you get just a standard array of hands. Pair of fists, which are on him. Pair of splayed open key blast hands. Pair of martial arts posy hands. And a pair of Kamehameha style hands. So yeah, not a whole lot to it. So let's take a look at the figure now. So in terms of the figure itself, like I said before, they have improved quite a lot of parts to it. For one, the joints all feel decently tight. The original one was a floppy mess. They have also, the eagle-eyed among you, they have finally used the proper Gogeta arms, including the bulkier shoulders. For a while, the bootleg companies loved just using Ultra Instinct Goku's arms for everything, and it was horrendous looking. Yeah, they've also used the 2.0 legs this time, and they are Gogeta's legs. You can tell because of the design at the bottom, those sort of folds. So yeah, I am very happy that they did that, because if we quickly bring in the original bootleg, yeah, this guy's an absolute mess. For whatever reason, like, there's a comparison with the arms. Like I said, they used Ultra Instinct Goku's arms, just painted the wrist guards black, but the smaller wrist guards, so they don't look as good, they don't look right. This one has the proper wrist guards. They also, for some bizarre, ungodly reason, used the main part of the leg from Super Saiyan 4 Goku and just molded it in white and then sprayed it poo brown for shading. Like, why would you do that? That just looks horrendous. Like, I have no idea why they thought that was a good idea. But that has been fixed now. We have the proper 2.0 joints, and it is actually the proper 2.0 joints. It's not the sort of bootleg company 2.0 joints. There's no pull down hinge to it, which means it looks a lot better. I did unfortunately get two left side caps, so that's why this cap looks a bit thicker than it should. But yeah, that's That's not major. Like, you're not really going to notice that unless you go looking for it. But yeah, you can tell it's the same bootleg company because for some reason they continue to use the same feet. Yeah, this is Super Saiyan 4 Goku's leg sock or leg wrap, whatever it is. They've just put it on the Gogeta legs instead of the Goku legs. Because if we bring in the official, you will see that the official one has actual leg wraps on it. This looks really nice. So yeah, I am not sure why they did that. Leg companies, like, every time you think they're doing something right, they cut a corner that's so obvious that it shouldn't be done that you completely lose your mind over it. Like, I have no idea why they did that at all. Like, you were so close to getting like a 1-to-1 bootleg and you fell over at the last hurdle. One other thing to note is that they thought they were being clever with the neck. If I can pop the neck off at all, you will see for some reason they sort of remolded the neck and given him a 3.0 style double barbell peg instead of the ball hinge that they usually use. But yeah, they done a good thing there. And then they decided to give him like 0 length to said new ball joint, which means he has no neck to speak of, and he can't even use that articulation. Like, I don't get it. Why do these bootleg companies do this? Honestly. Last thing I'll note is his lower sort of abs. For some reason, they are molded so that he's perpetually like crunching forward slightly, and because of that, it makes his entire upper half look squat, and his arms look enormously long, and that is purely down to these abs not being the right sort of length. They should be like that, and they are not, which is a shame. But yeah, other than that, it's a decent little bootleg. In terms of articulation, let's try and get it out of the way. The neck can swivel and do a little bit of pivot side to side, but it can't really do anything else. Like, that ball joint is just too embedded deep in there. Unlike the 1.0 bootleg, you can move these a bit out of the way. I would be incredibly careful of them though, because it's still a bootleg and that peg still looks quite fragile. So yeah, just be careful with it. But yeah, you can put the arms up that far. You can get a swivel all the way around. Butterfly joint kinda works. That's about as much as you're getting out of it, I'm afraid. I'm not sure why it's not working properly, but it is a bootleg. Bicep swivel, that is quite tight. Be careful of that. Double joint at the elbow, but for some reason can only get about 90. You get any further than that and it pops the joint out. It's a bit unfortunate. I'll have to check the original Gogeta, see if he has the same issue. Ball hinge at the wrist. The abs can technically go back about that far. They can go forward a lot, but then that's purely due to them being mismolded, I would assume. You get a bit of tilt and swivel out of the waist. Legs can kick up actually really far. Thigh rotation, you can get about that much of the splits before it stops, just to prove they are proper 2.0 style hinges. Double joint at the knee. No boot rotation, but you do have ankle rotation. Ankles are just on a double barbell, so you can go forward that far, back that far. Toe articulation and ankle pivot gets about that much. So not great, but not horrible either, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, overall, I am impressed with this little figure. For a tenner, I mean, that's the same amount I paid for the Dragon Ball Evolve figure, and this time I'm getting one that's in scale. Granted, I do have to do a bit of work to it, but it's still decent enough. Finally, let's bring in the two figures to compare. We have the official on the right and the original bootleg on the left. Apologies, all that white on the screen at once is killing the white balance. There we go, that's a bit better. So yeah, overall, the original still takes it easily, like without a shadow of a doubt. I have just noticed as well, the head on the bootleg, they are still using the base form head for the Super Saiyan Blue, so that's why that head doesn't seem to fit properly. That is why. I have no idea why they keep doing that, but they do. But yeah, it makes a decent stand-in. Like, just make sure you get this version and not this monstrosity. Because guaranteed some AliExpress sellers will still have this version. They might even use the promo images for this version, so just be careful. If you're wondering why his arm's outstretched like that, that's because it's misformed that way. This guy really is an abomination, honestly. But yeah, link in the description if you want to purchase. I will try and find one that has like in-hand images of this version of the bootleg, because you can review the thing on AliExpress. So if I find people that have reviewed this version, I will put that in the description. So yeah, guys. Oh, almost forgot. My in progress head. That is it right there. It's quite a shiny gold. It's not perfect by any means, but it will do me for the time being. Like, I am happy enough with it, honestly. If you want to see the finished product, I can do a customization video in the future, so just let me know if you want to see that. But yeah, guys, until next time, I'll see y'all later.